Hey guys, this is Ravenclaw. What if? Welcome back to another What If story. Now, this is What If Deku was claimed by a female alpha, part zero. Let's run a brief uh, information before we start our What If. He's going to have a electricity type of ability. It won't be a quirk. I have a plan in in place for how he acquire his abilities. And for what he can do with his abilities, he could pretty much do what electricity can do. He's able to, produce it in a blast, shoot electricity out of his hands. He also can, Ezekiel is able to charge up his muscles in with electricity to increase his speed and strength. He basically supercharges his body. And his electricity is going to be green. As we start our what if, as Ezekiel, he has never knew his parents. All that he remembers is the orphanage. He was dropped off at the orphanage when he was just an infant. As the people that run the orphanage, they did take Ezekiel in, as in his life has gone normal. There's many other children at the orphanage. There's too many kids. They're low staff, so a few of them, they buy not on purpose, but they don't really pay too much attention to Ezekiel. After he gets a certain age, after he gets old enough to walk, after that they kind of just forgot about him. They have other kids there that need to be immediate attention. As his life has progressed, normally he went to around his sixth birthday, as they had a doctor come into the orphanage as they go through the test. The orphanage has a well, actually, they took the kids to the people that run the orphanage takes the kids to the cork doctor when they turn the age of 6. And with Izuku, when he went to get his cork evaluated, they told him that he is corkless. As Izuku didn't really have a he didn't have a hero complex in this one, as he didn't really care that his quirk was he just have a quirk. He instead of worrying about it or dwelling on it, that door has been closed. So he finds new things to interest him. I mean, he did find heroes interesting, but he can't. He knows full well that he doesn't have a quirk, so he can't be a hero. That's just not going to happen with the current things in Japan. Even it is allowed the people to try to be hero without a quirk, but the success rate, it's pretty much 1% to like 100. Like it's like 1 out of 1,000. So Izuku finds other things to occupy his mind. As over the years, he found interest in several different things: technology, reading. He's actually got a habit of collecting, crystals. He would he Over the years he would take trips to out there, other wilderness. As he has, he ended up getting a one of the women that owned the orphanage, gave Ezekiel 1 year for a birthday present. It's a some tools to dig into the ground to look for, stuff that's buried. So over the years, Ezekiel, goes out in the wilderness, studies in crystals. That's something for fun. I mean, he's a bit of a nerd, so it goes well for him. So, he learned about, the different forms of crystals and where to find them and the best place where they're at. And because he's quirkless, he hasn't been adopted yet. As he's around the age, let's say, he's around 8 years old. He was out one night. They don't really pay attention to him, so he could leave whenever he wants. They figure, a quirkless kid can't get in too much trouble, so they leave him alone. There's no bullying, nothing like that. As one night he was out, he was out in the wilderness. And the orphanage is pretty close to the forest, so it's a little outside the city. It's outside the city, so it's very what was it called? Give me a second here. I forget what the word they call it for. Isolated from the city. So as one night he was, doing what he does at night, stargazing, as he noticed a shooting star up in the sky. As the shooting star is getting kind of close, as Ezekiel hears a loud bang, as whatever hit the ground made a loud crater. And no one really heard it. He's pretty far away from the orphanage, so as Ezekiel, goes deeper into the forest. As he's, he's a little bit skittish because, he's 9 years old and he's in a forest alone with no one around. As he comes upon the crater, I know this is pretty much kryptonite. I'm just using this for the story. I couldn't find a good meteor with crystals on it, so I'm gonna have to improvise. Ignore the barn in the background. So that's not on there. So that's pretty much what it is. It's a big meteor, as there is a several crystals sticking out of the meteor, as it's red hot. It's pretty hot as Ezekiel, gets to it, as he sees, as he's amazed by, as this is the first asteroid he's ever seen. He's read about them. Several hours has gone by. As the crystal finally cools off, as Ezekiel finally, able to touch it, as he examines it, as this is a outer space crystal, so he's excited. As he takes his little hammer thing, his little pick and hammer, as he tries to chip a piece of the crystal off. The moment that the metal made contact, the crystal starts glowing a bright green. As as when he decides to take a piece, immediately the metal piece hit the crystal, as there was a green shockwave, as it blew Izuku across, as he, hit the ground pretty hard, as he falls unconscious. As the green shockwave scatters across the land, a couple miles out. He finally wakes up as he's shaking the cobwebs out of his head. As his eyes are blurry. Where am I? Oh, I know I shouldn't have touched that. As Ezekiel gets up as he walks back to the meteor, as the crystal is no longer glowing. As he goes over to touch it, as nothing happens, as whatever energy it released, it's gone now. But unknown to Ezekiel, the energy that passed through him, that threw him across the waves, altered his It altered him a little bit. He Ezekiel is unaware of the abilities that he's going to manifest in the next couple years. As he finally, returns home with a piece of the crystal, as he gave it another shot. That's the worst. As Ezekiel thought, the worst that could happen is he gets tossed across the field again. He kind of wants that. So after all that effort he put in, he's not going to leave without a piece of that crystal. So as he takes the crystal home, as everyone's asleep, as he sneaks in, no one really paid attention anyway. So as the next couple weeks has progressed, as he's studying he's just doing research on the crystal, see what he can find out about it. As he made a necklace out of the crystal, as he started wearing it everywhere he went. Sorry guys, this is someone popped up real fast. A year has passed as his life hasn't improved. All the rest of the kids, kids keep getting adopted, as Ezekiel is always the one that's left out. So as he spends more time in the wilderness, as he finds it very relaxing. He's by himself, no one bugs him, no one's calling him a deku. So he's just walking through the forest as a bear came into the pathway, as it charges at Ezekiel, as it runs at him, as Ezekiel fell down on his behind, as he sticks out his hands to block from being attacked, as a shot of electricity shoots out as it shocks shocks the bear, as it makes a injured noise as it runs off, as it shook its head, as it snarled, as it went the opposite way. As Ezekiel, this is the first time he's been in contact with a bear. So as his adrenaline is rushing a little bit. As he's, what was that? Did I do that? That shouldn't be possible. I'm corkless. I probably should get back. It's getting kind of late. As Ezekiel's walking back, as he walks back to the orphanage. It's not too late, but it's getting dark, as they usually have this dinner around this time. As he noticed that something's off with the orphanage, as normally the lights are on as Ezekiel walks in. As Ezekiel gets to the orphanage, as he sees the door is kind of broken, as he opens it, as all he sees several creatures inside, over the bodies of everyone inside, chowing down on their meat. As all Ezekiel can see in the darkness is these creatures that are pure white, that has no eyes, only a nose and a mouth, as it's chomping down on a piece of meat. On, the orphanage, as they killed everyone inside. For Ezekiel, these creatures haven't noticed him yet. As the ghoul is chomping down on the head staff member that was at the orphanage. As the room is covered in blood, as Ezekiel fell, as he slowly stepped backwards. As he feels something behind him, as he hears a loud screech. As Ezekiel's terrified, as the creature raised its arm, as it tried to stab Ezekiel with his, I don't know what they're called, but whatever, as he tried to pierce Ezekiel, without knowing without knowing by pure instinct, Ezekiel's electricity is running through his body, as it's going through his muscles, as Ezekiel starts moving a lot faster. The moment he put his foot down, the moment he appeared right in front of the orphanage, as doesn't know what happened. He's confused. As I can't think about that right now. I need to get out of here. As but he's still 9, by the way. So 8 or 9. So as he's running, as the creatures give chase. Come on, Izuku, faster, move faster. As he's activating part of his power, as he starts moving a little more faster. As he's jumping over a log, as he finds he jumps in the river. As the river takes him down, as he finally pulls himself up. As he sees a cave, as he goes in there. A few hours later, as Ezekiel hears footsteps, someone entering the cave, as he hides behind a big rock that was inside the cave. As he heard the same screeching noise that he heard from the orphanage. As Ezekiel is terrified. Ezekiel doesn't know what to do. He has powers now, but he doesn't know how to use them. So the best course of action Ezekiel thought of at the moment was to hide. The moment the ghouls decide to go further into the cave, that's when Ezekiel books it. As he walks slowly, make sure he doesn't being heard. As he books it out of the cave, as it's raining pretty hard. Ezekiel doesn't know what to do. He can't go back to the orphanage. There's no one there alive, and he doesn't have any parents, so he doesn't know what to do. So as he decided to go to the city to do something, to get to where there's people is, as he's clearly in danger, as he knows that if he stays in the forest, those creatures might return. So as Ezekiel, ventures back in town, as it's a long walk. It's a couple-day walk. Ezekiel's out, pretty far out, as he's getting hungry, as he's getting weak. He hasn't had water. He hasn't had no food. He hasn't had after that night, yeah, he hasn't slept. He's just been traveling, trying to get to the city, to civilization. As Ezekiel's walking barely on the street. This took Ezekiel a couple days. As he passes out on the road in the middle of the night. Sorry guys, I had stopped the video because I had to get a character model. As Ezekiel, collapsed on the middle of the street. As we cut to a woman with red hair in the back of her car as her driver is driving her. Ma'am, we're approaching something in the middle of the road. Stop the car. Yes, ma'am. As you have Scarlett. She's a half vampire, half human hybrid. Her mother was a vampire and her dad was a human. As she sees someone in the road, as she gets out of the car, as she walks over, as she sees the little 9-year-old Ezekiel. She's like, "What are you doing out here all alone? Where's your parents? I don't smell anyone nearby. What's that scent? Ghouls." As Scarlett picks up Ezekiel. "We're leaving now." "Yes, ma'am." "What's going on, ma'am?" "Nothing you to worry about. Just take me home." "What's with the kid?" "Don't worry about it. Just do your job and drive me." "Yes, ma'am." Blasted humans. Leaving a child like this alone. Several hours later, Ezekiel woke up in a bed as he's scared. Scarlett, Don't worry, I'm not going to harm you. I'm not going to hurt you. As Izuku's skittish, as she gets, as she get closer. Don't worry, little one. I'm not going to hurt you. What is your name? Yeah, Izuku. Do you know what happened to you? I really don't want to talk about it. As Izuku's not talking, nothing. As very well. Here, you might want to drink this. As she hands him a glass of water. How old are you? 9. 9 or 8. Where's your parents? I don't have any. As she understands. Why don't you? Why don't you drink that? Then I'll have someone come get you when dinner's ready. We could talk then. Izuku. We cut to Scarlett as she's in her office, as she's talking on the phone. Mother, I'm serious. This little boy I found in the road, he has the scent of ghouls. I don't know what he's involved with, but you know how frequently the ghouls have been acting up. Why haven't the hunters did anything yet? We can't interfere in human affairs. Are you serious? Whatever these ghouls did, the, the boy is terrified. Here, I know you mean well, but you need to drop the boy somewhere. I will not, mother. I will not abandon that little boy. He has, according to what he's told me, he doesn't have anyone. I'll talk to you later, Mom. I have some things to take care of. She's like, wait. As you know, she hangs up on her own mother. As Ezekiel has spent a couple of days there, as he's got used to Scarlett, as he start opening up, as he told her what happened, as you know, Scarlett goes over and gives him a hug. As she's like, "It's all right, Ezekiel. You're safe now. What's gonna happen to me, Miss? You don't need to worry. You're going to be living here from now on. I'll have the papers filed, and I'll be adopting you." And Suzuki, has, a bright smile as, her heart warmed. What's left of her heart. I mean, she's a half vampire, so she does need to drink blood. Not as much as a normal vampire, but, she has to drink it. Several years has passed. As Izuku's Scarlett's been helping him train his abilities. He's told her it was a quirk, so he doesn't know how he got that power. He suspects that it's the crystal that he found in the wilderness, but he's not 100%. But, you know, that's most likely the case when it comes to Izuku. So as, Scarlett, helped him with his abilities, as she's been a very good influence on Izuku. She's kind, gentle. She's never once tried to eat Izuku, feed on him, because she has no blood. And she doesn't, yeah, she started to care for Izuku over the years. As Izuku was Scarlett told Izuku that he would have to go to a normal school, like a normal kid. So Izuku agreed with his mother as he went to his first year of middle school. His first year of middle school has gone really well. He he talks to a few people. No one teases him. No bullying. It's not the same school as Bakugo. It's some rich school, not Momo school or Intelli's. It's just some random, academy that he went to. As his grades is pretty spot on, straight A's. Ezekiel has quite a mind. and he's quite powerful with his electricity abilities. Ezekiel starts growing his hair out. It's not as long in the picture, but it will be once he's finished with middle school. As you know, he gets back to the house. As the house is quite busy, as they're receiving guests. Ezekiel gets home. Mom, I'm home. Come in the dining room. We have guests. As Ezekiel walks in, as he sees, a bunch of people there that he's never seen before. As it's the local wolf pack, werewolf pack. That's nearby. That Ezekiel's Scarlett has a good relationship with. Who's the kid, Scarlett? That's my son, Ezekiel. Please introduce yourself. Name Ezekiel. As you know, he meets with all the werewolves that he has no idea they're werewolves. His mother told him about the supernatural world because he's already been exposed to it. So it took a while for Ezekiel to stop having nightmares about the ghouls. So Scarlet and Ezekiel are quite close. As you know, the night progresses as everything goes off with a hitch. No problems. There's just a daily dinner with one of the alphas. As the leader of this pack discuss what they have issues with, as one of the newest packs out there are starting trouble. As they have a little bit of a well, technically they're at war with each other. It's a new pack, a young alpha that's very headstrong, causing a lot of problems. As Scarlet, very well, I'll keep an eye out. Where are they located? As we're not sure where their pack house is or where the pack's located. They move around a lot. They came out of nowhere and started attacking us. We don't know why. Most likely try to get our territory. Most likely. Wolf politics and all, Scarlet. Very well. If you need my assistance, you have my number. Of course, Scarlet. You've always been your family has always been kind. Even though you come from a vampiric family. As the night ends, as Scarlet says goodbye to her friends. She's quite friendly with the werewolf pack. Okay, we're gonna stop it here. That's a good spot to leave it off. I'll continue on the next part. So, hope you guys have a good night and day, judging my time zones and wherever you are in the world right now. I'll catch you in the next video.